Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're enjoying your summer vacation. You better enjoy it because there's only going to be a few more that you're going to get before you're working all the time. But this video is going to be about getting caught up in the moment. And that's a chapter in my book, A Point of Reference, talking about getting caught up in the moment of pulling a prank or, just goofing around. I heard a couple of things this past week that made me want to make this video for you. I had hoped to talk about health and hygiene, but I'll get that to you. Yeah, the couple of things that I had heard. There was this woman who was going to get married. I guess it had been maybe just a year ago or so. And on the day or the day before the wedding, she was getting ready, and maybe they were fooling around, taking a break around a pool. A friend of hers pushed her into a pool. Just fooling around, didn't mean for anything to happen. She ended up being, I don't know if she was paraplegic, maybe just losing the use of her legs, or losing the use of her hands and legs. But in that moment of just fooling around, her life changed. Her life changed. The person that pushed her into the pool, her life changed, and everybody around her, their lives all changed because they were just fooling around. What I would recommend to you is whenever you've probably been on vacation with your family up until this point, and maybe things are getting dull. You don't want to start looking for, risky things to do. I mean, we all like to pull pranks and have fun and just goof off. But you got to think. You got to think before you act. You got to be careful when you're doing any of these things. I mean, you know how the situations can come. I mean, maybe some of you guys have already gotten your license, and if your parents allow you to take the car for a ride, you're with a couple of friends, and the phrase comes up, "Hey, let's see how fast your mother's car can go." It's these situations that can escalate into something that you really had no idea, something bad could possibly happen. You might have some friends, some girls that oh yeah, they're going to be babysitting. Why don't we go over there and we'll go hang out with them, while they're babysitting. It's these situations can escalate. You might be thinking, hey, let's go make a fire in the woods. Let's go make a fire. All of these situations, they may start out as fun, but they can certainly end up in something that you just didn't intend to happen. Another saying that I had heard this week was, oh yeah, these things, I think it was from Jurassic Park, and he says, oh yeah, I know situations like this. Yeah, they start out with ooh and ah, and they end up with running and screaming. You've got to be so careful. I was just recently at a job where we're working, and you see a couple of guys out goofing around. They're pulling their friend. One guy's got a car, and they're pulling their friend on a skateboard with the car. Now, certainly you can get hurt on a skateboard really doing anything, but that's under your own body power, or maybe you're going down a hill, but how fast you're going to be going. Now, let's say you're doing that with a car like these guys were, and hey, maybe you hit a rock, or maybe something jumps out in front of the guy driving the car, and he has to turn or has to stop quick, and you hit the car riding the skateboard. Certainly you didn't intend for that to happen, and naturally these guys weren't wearing a helmet, gloves, elbow, knee pads, none of that stuff. If you're going to do something, risky on the edge, at least try to, prepare for it. My son rides a dirt bike. That's dangerous in itself. But certainly he wears the boots, he wears the chest protector, he's got the gloves, he's got the helmet. So you got to prepare for things that you're going to be taking a risk at doing. And like I say, now you're in the middle of your vacation. Maybe you're getting to the point where it's like, oh gee, there's nothing else to do. Hey, let's try this. You do something risky, it can turn out really, really bad. Take for instance this girl that was going to get married, and what really kind of brought it to me was that a year later now, she's still getting married, but her life has certainly changed. Her life has changed for that one moment that her friend pushed her into that pool. Her life has changed. The person that pushed her, their life has changed because they're responsible for this girl's life to have, have been in a big upheaval now. The girl's husband, has got a whole new look at life. The girl's parents, the girl who pushed her, their parents, their family. It just balloons. It's almost like when you see a windshield of a car that gets hit by a rock and you get that big, and everything is just jagged and there's all these things. That's how our lives are. And that's how your life can immediately change in a situation like that. Like I say earlier with the fire in the woods. Oh yeah, let's make a fire in the woods. Oh gee, it's not big enough. Let's put some more wood on it. And then the fire gets bigger. Oh gee, it's not big enough. And, there's always the one guy, let me go get some gasoline. Now the fire is huge. And then let's say it takes off. Fire does what it wants to do. And all of a sudden you can't put the fire out. Naturally you don't have any water nearby. And you're trying to kick dirt and get the fire out. You end up running away from it because it's gotten out of hand. And I'm sure you watch the news. You've seen how many times, oh gee, there's a big fire in this woods, and acres and acres of property are getting burned. Maybe some of it's a natural cause. Some of it is probably from someone not taking care of a fire. You've really got to pay attention to situations that you're getting yourself involved in. Let's take the car situation. Yeah, come on, let's go see how your mother's car is, how fast it is. And where you guys are just getting your license, you just don't have that experience. There are places to go drive fast, that you can go to. Any drag strip will usually have a night where you can go race a car. I'm going to talk about that in another video, driving and owning a car. But on the street is not the place for you to be taking a car 50, 60, 70 miles an hour. It's not the place to do that. You start getting up at that speed with your inexperience, and anything could happen. Squirrel could come out, and your natural reaction is to turn. Someone could come out of a side street. Any of these things could happen, and then let's just say, hey, maybe you get the car into an accident and you put a dent in it. That's bad enough. Let's say you total the car. Nobody gets hurt, but the car gets totaled. Bad situation. Let's say you total the car and one of your friends in the car get hurt. Just has to go to the hospital. That's a bad situation. These are all bad situations that didn't need to happen because you didn't think it out prior to taking the wheel. You might total the car and someone could get killed. You might live and then someone else in the car gets killed. And I know these are extremes, but the extreme can happen. The extreme can happen. Oh yeah, let's go over and see Karen and Melinda. They're going to be babysitting tonight. I can get some beer. That's just a recipe for disaster. And you wouldn't want to be involved in any of these situations. Let's say you're just there, and because you were there and you saw what was happening, you weren't doing anything. Now you're put in the position of, let's say, being a witness to something happening. And certainly you don't want to be in a situation where you have to, rat out a friend. But with everything that goes on today, everything is law. So you're a witness to something that was bad that happened. And you're put in a bad situation. You got to use your head. You've got to think before you act. I mean, I can remember the lines that your parents give you. Maybe your parents have used this line on you. Things that start out as fun don't always end up as fun. You've heard the one. Everything's fun until someone loses an eye. That's true. It might seem like it's going to be fun. Let's try this. Let's jump off of here. Let's go over here. Let's do this. Let's do that. But if you don't think it through, you can have a bad situation happen. So all I'm saying is, now that you're in the middle of your vacation, you're probably looking for things to do. If you think you've exhausted everything that, seem like fun and normal, be careful. Don't get caught up in the moment of just fooling around, pulling a prank. You could change your life forever. Okay? So just be careful. Enjoy the rest of your summer. Get out there and do things. Prepare yourself. Think things through. And you'll lessen the amount of times that, you can get into a negative, life-changing situation. Okay? Hey, well, do me a favor and go to my Facebook page, the Point of Reference Facebook page. Tell me what you're doing. What are you doing this summer? What's something that's fun to do that someone else might not know about? Let me know what you want to know about. Give me a topic for a video, something that I can tell you. If I'll try to find out what you want to know. But hey, enjoy the rest of your summer. I'll have a new video out for you soon.